on Torrance Gibson. This time he'll hand it off to Sony Michel. Sony taking the entire defense with him. He's still on his feet. My goodness. 9-yard pickup. This guy's 5'11", 205. It just took about 8 guys with him for a ride.
I think I see half of the Cypress Bay band that went along with Sony Michel there. That was a terrific run, just right up the middle. And you mentioned the size on the defensive line for American Heritage. On the offensive line, they're averaging over 300 pounds. So this is a big offensive line, and you can hide when you're 5'11" behind a wall like that of 5 men in front of you. Option attempt.
We'll get to the line. Here's Sony Michel. And he is wrapped up. So whatever was at the 40, and now it's back inside the 30. Sony Michel. Gibson handoff. Sony Michel. Sony breaks some tackles, still on his feet. Down to the 41-yard line. A good look at why Sony is considered one of the premier backs in all of America.
That's a terrific example of power blended with speed. Watch the vision and watch the acceleration through the tackle of Lockett. He comes up from the secondary trying to get his arms and wrap around Sony Michel, but you can't.
Tom Luganville, our director of national recruiting for ESPN, breaks down Sony Michel for us.
There are a variety of reasons why Sony Michel is a special back. Number one, he can run the football inside. He's got enough lower body strength, enough power to push the pile, get his shoulders square with forward lean, and handle the load through the course of 4 quarters. But it's his ability to bounce the ball to the perimeter, the explosive lateral agility and vision to cut back against the grain, get to the second level, and be a home run threat. This is one of those players that could play in any offense, but we think is going to be an ideal fit in the zone scheme. And on top of it, he's got terrific ball skills.
A verbal commitment to Georgia. Give some credit to Cypress Bay. Here is Sony Michel. And as I say that, Sony with another big run. He'll pick up 13 yards. Here's a guy with some explosion, Sony Michel, and American Heritage. Sony Michel, Plantation, Florida. And another loss. Good. Florida, Weston, Florida to be exact. As you take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Geico, we focus in on 2 of the big names, and Sony Michel got off to a good start, but really has gone backwards the last 3 or 4 carries. He's stuck on 55 yards, but McSixty on the ESPN 300 list, and Jalen Hurd, who was number 39. And this looks like a Sony Michel touchdown run, 69 yards.
He made it look easy other than getting in the end zone and having a cramp. That was too easy for Sony Michel going off the right side. Nobody touches him. No one lays a hand on number 1. He's going to go off right tackle, and there is just nobody to set the edge for Cypress Bay. Sony just has to avoid his own blocker down the field and then high step about the 15-yard line and just waltz into the end zone.
Here is Sony Michel. Nowhere to go. Well, there should be a flag on that. There were 5 or 6 whistles that were blown, and nobody stopped, and he got hammered pretty good. But number 2 ranked running back gets this handoff, and he is met at the line by Thomas. Bounces off him, slides through some defenders, and picks up 6 points. Man, can he run the football.
Couple of missed tackles, but Sony Michel was looking for somebody to hit around the goal line. An electrifying player. The verbal commit going to Georgia. Watch as he's met in the backfield. A clean hit by Danny Thomas. He sidesteps Hunter Brown, and then he's looking for punishment around the goal line.
Man, he is, as they say, all that and then some.
Remember what I said about Mark Richt trying to find better talent each and every year? I might take that back. You might not find anybody better than this guy.
That is impressive. Sony Michel now with 136 yards on the ground. This was all set up by the interception from the safety, Carter Jacobs.
The running back position starts with speed and explosiveness. The player must be able to win foot races in the open field. He should have the power to drive through arm tackles or push the pile in short yardage situations. Does he have the vision? Can he see the cutback lane? And does he have the lateral agility and elusiveness to make multiple defenders miss? And finally, how are his ball skills? Can he contribute in the passing game?
Well, that's the one thing we didn't see today from Sony Michel was his ability to catch the ball in the backfield. But we saw everything else, folks. I mean, the speed, the power, the elusiveness. I like everything I see. Mark Richt's got to love what he sees. Mike Bobo, the offensive coordinator. Those guys can't talk about recruits, but you know they're talking to each other right now.
They're smiling at each other right now is what they're doing. Great pad level, runs behind him so well. He's got great balance. Toughness is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Sony Michel after watching him today. He just runs downhill, fearless. Great blend of power and speed.
Coming up after our game, it'll be Sports Center. See if any of our plays made the top 10. We had a few here today.
All we need is Carter Jacobs to give a call into the
right.
guys up in Bristol.